Hi and welcome to the Malat cookery channel. So I'm in the garden today doing a few projects. I want to make something for dinner tonight which is really quick, obviously very tasty, and what I'm going to be making tonight is a really cheap meal as well. I'm going to be doing pork loin steak and smoked bacon wraps with a homemade apple and sage stuffing. So as I said, this is a really cheap family meal. It's absolutely delicious and very quick to make as well. As usual, a full list of ingredients will be given at the end of the video, so let's have a look at those ingredients now and anything else we're going to need for today. So the ingredients for today, I've got one medium-sized eating apple which has been peeled, cored and diced, some pork loin steaks, some smoked streaky bacon, going to be using some salt and pepper, large knob of butter for frying, teaspoon of dried sage, 50 grams of breadcrumbs, these are shop bought or you can make your own, and one medium white onion which has been peeled and diced. So first thing we want to do is to prepare our sage and apple stuffing. So in a saucepan over a medium heat, I've got our butter, which I'm going to melt. I'm going to add in the onions, and we just want to cook these onions through for about 3 or 4 minutes until they just start to soften. So once the onions have softened, we then add in our apple and our dried sage. Turn the heat right down. At this point I'm just going to add a little bit of boiling water from the kettle. Maybe just a couple of tablespoonfuls. So what we're going to do now on a really low heat, just going to allow this to cook for about 8 minutes until the apples just starts to soften. Okay, after about 7 or 8 minutes the apples start to soften, and with a spoon you'll be able to start to break the pieces in half. Next thing to do is from the kettle, I've got some extra water, about 100 millilitres of boiling water from the kettle, and we just want this to cook a little bit further now for about another 7 or 8 minutes, and then we'll be able to move on to the next step. Okay, so once we've got the apple, onion and sage to this stage, just turn the heat out. We'll take it off the heat itself. Next thing we want to do is take either the back of a fork or a potato masher and just break up any remaining pieces of apple. Don't have to go crazy with this, we're not trying to make it into a mash. Just break down any large pieces of apple. Okay, so once we've done that, mix in the breadcrumbs. And then we just want to reserve this to one side just while we prepare the pork loin steaks. So the way we prepare the steaks is trim off any excess fat from around the outside, place it onto a piece of baking paper or grease-proof paper and fold it over. And then with a heavy object, something like a rolling pin, we just want to start to flatten out this steak until it's about 2 or 3 millimeters thick. If when you start to do that, this piece at the end starts to become detached, don't worry about that. just fold that over into the steak itself and then carry on flattening it out, and that will form part of the steak. So once we've flattened out the steak, this is what we'll end up with. Then take a little bit of our apple and sage stuffing. Just put that onto one end. And then just gently roll our flattened steak up like that. So once we've got our steak rolled, next thing to do is on a board place a piece of streaky bacon lengthways, place the rolled pork loin steak on top and just seal over the end. And then with our other bacon, just proceed to start to wrap this around. Just like that. And just continue to do that until the whole package is sealed with our smoked bacon. So once these are done, the next thing is I've preheated the oven to 180 degrees centigrade, and these are going to go into the middle of that preheated oven for 45 minutes. So there you go, pork loin steak and smoked bacon wraps with a homemade apple and sage stuffing. Absolutely delicious, and as I said right at the start of the video, really easy to make. Please subscribe to the channel, and as usual, if you've enjoyed this particular video, hit that like button. Thank you very much for watching.